What is up, everyone? It's Kamikaze here today, and today I wanted to talk about the Warabots Update 5.3, and we're going to be looking through the Warabots Update 5.3 notes, and talking about my opinions about it. There was a lot of extra stuff that they added in terms of rebalancing. Now, a short answer for all of you guys, in my opinion, this update, in terms of balancing, it skimped a lot, but in terms of special operations, I think we have some decent stuff in there, and I think it did improve a little bit. So, this update, in my opinion, was kind of a neutral update. Not very good, not very bad in either way. I mean, I think it is a little bit of a boost in terms of the economy because we are getting some more resources in special operations, but yeah, we'll just have to see how it turns out on the live server once the Behemoth and Phantom and special operations come out. So we'll see. Alright, so there we go. We see this really cool picture of the Loki and the Phantom robots right there. Or not Loki, the Aljun and the Phantom robots. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm saying, you know? It's a really cool photo. Just, I don't know, random comment. Alright, major feature operations. So, for every battle, you receive Operation XP and Operation levels, including unlocking extra rewards. You can purchase Operation passes to get even more loot, including exclusive versions of robots, legendary pilots, and more. So yeah, that's operations for you. So basically they're talking about the Operation Gold tier pass is going to be about $15, and we'll have to see what's on it. You know, of course, not always very happy about, you know, more spending in the game, more opportunities to spend. That's just my opinion. But again, there are, if you look at some of the rewards and stuff, there's some decent stuff in there. So here we go. With operations, there come other changes. So regular daily tasks will be reduced. So instead of getting 2 daily tasks, you get 1. Now, here's the deal though. When you are getting that 1 daily task, most of your gold will actually be coming from the operation pass. And they were talking about how over the course of 2 months you can get about 2,500 gold, which is a little bit over 40 gold on top of your 30 or 40 that you get from a daily task. So it does add up, and you will get more gold, along with other things and loot like silver. So of course you're getting more rewards, and that's pretty great. Now again, I'm not very happy about the, you know, $15, but we'll have to see what's on there. You know, it may actually be a good opportunity for some of our pay-to-win players, because we do have to look at both sides, you know. Pay-to-win players, maybe $15. This $15 may actually help you out. I mean, we'll see. So, new post-combat screen. This is interesting. So, you know, the post-combat has always kind of, I guess, skimped in terms of information. It has kind of been, you gotta go through all the tabs and stuff. It's a little bit complicated to a new player. And, you know, they changed the, like, overview of it. It looks actually a lot different. It looks cleaner, in my opinion. You know, it's not too big of a deal, but it just looks cleaner. And then, of course, this is big. This is huge. Ranking by honor points instead of damage. The more honor you get, the higher you are in the match results, which should yield more league points and keys. I don't know how I feel about this. Again, I haven't really played Warabots today because I've had to do a ton of things, and, you know, I haven't really played, so I have to go into the game, and some people are actually liking this system, and I'm hearing that some people are not liking this system. You know, honor points instead of damage, there's a lot more criteria, in my opinion. So, you know, the honor points now, honor point boosters are removed, so we don't have to worry about, you know, your players with boosters running just instantly going to the first, you know, the first tier every single time. Now, of course, they're probably going to get more damage than you, and the chances are that they're going to be up there, but, you know, it's not going to be an unfair advantage now. But, I don't know, it's a new system, and, you know, I can see where they're coming from. I can see where they're coming from, because now we're getting ranked off of so many different things, including, you know, winning the battle, getting damage, getting physical shields, and all that stuff, capturing beacons. It's all coming into play, and that actually, now that I think about it a little bit more, it could actually be pretty decent for the game. We could see a lot more, like, diversity in terms of, like, playstyles, instead of just, we need damage, get more damage, get more damage. Because if you're going for beacons and stuff, you're not really getting compensated. If you, say, get 10 beacons in Beacon Rush, and maybe 300,000 damage, you're going to be at the bottom of the leaderboard, when really and truly, you should be up there because you got 10 beacons. You were carrying your team in terms of beacons. So I think that that could be good, but we will have to see. There could be some issues. I have no idea. And then we have new robots, Phantom and Behemoth. So 4 heavy weapon slots on the Behemoth. A lot of people have been getting a little bit angry about that, and I can see where they're coming from. I I remember one time I was watching a stream, and this is just, oh my god, it's so funny because it's coming to the game. I was watching like a live stream. I think it was a Big JJ live stream. You guys know who that guy is. He is an amazing Whereabouts YouTuber. But you know, I was watching that stream, and someone was joking about how, you know, if a robot with 4 heavy weapon slots, imagine that in the game or something like that. They said that comment, and I kind of laughed, and I didn't really believe that it would ever come to the game. And that was a while ago. That was a while ago. And now a robot with 4 heavy weapon slots is coming to the game. It's just, oh my god, it's deja vu, man. Now, I'm not saying that the robot is OP or that it's overpowered. I mean, you know, it's 4 heavy weapon slots. It's probably going to dominate snipers. The Fury is probably going to be seeing its way out. But the Fury does have some better things on it than a Behemoth. Basically, when it's in that OP, you know, kind of thing that people are talking about, it's losing all mobility. It's not going to be a brawler if it has no mobility, okay? We're going to see it probably in sniping styles, but, you know, other than that, we're not we're not going to see it too much. I don't think it's going to be too OP. Now, the Phantom could be another story. The Phantom is a robot that is supposed to teleport. And, again, I never really thought that a robot that teleports would come into the game. It feels like it could be hard to balance, and, you know, this is one I'm actually more worried about the Phantom rather than the Behemoth, which is weird, but, you know, teleporting could be an issue. Imagine you're on, like, carrier map, and that you're going for center beacon, and you work so hard, you know, you're trying to sit on top of center beacon, maybe you die, but you capture that beacon, and you work so hard, and suddenly a Phantom just walks up, you know, turns that beacon to white or even to red, you know, an enemy teammate, and then as soon as you can even get a shot in, it's just boom. It's teleported back, and you can't even get any damage off on it. I'm a little bit worried about it, but I think it's a cool playstyle, really, but, you know, again, it comes down to playing in the game. Currently, the Phantom and Behemoth aren't really available. Like, you can't even see them on the... If you go into, like, the weapons and, like, where you can buy, like, your weapons for whatever, if you need, like, a Fury or something, you can buy it there. If you go into that kind of inventory space, there is no robot for sale there. That's kind of weird. You don't even see it. The only way you can get it right now is by, I'm pretty sure, purchasing it or getting it in the super chest. So it hasn't even showed up on the inventory, and I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little bit confused about that. So yeah, I mean, it all comes down to the battlefield. I don't think we're going to be seeing those for a while, because again, you know, the chance of you getting it in like a chest or something is going to be low. You're probably only going to be able to get it by paying a crazy amount of money. Or, you know, maybe you do get lucky and get it. So I don't think we're going to be seeing it for a while until it gets into our workshop. So, yep, that is my idea about the Phantom. Alright, so we have the overview there. We're not going to watch that. Now, we saw the Fortifier a while back. The Fortifier was a... Oh my goodness. It was a passive module that boosted your shield or physical shield durability. It came along with the Accelerator. Now, the Fortifier and Accelerator kind of went hand in hand on that test server. They both were released at the same time. And the Accelerator, of course, was so much more popular. Everyone talked about it over our lovely little Fortifier. Now the Fortifier, it's its time to shine, guys, because the Accelerator is not being released in this update. I can't say if it won't be released at all, but it's not being released in this update. It may be released later, or I'm kind of hoping that Pixonic scratched it because it was a little bit OP and hard to balance. So the Fortifier is coming to the game, and it gives a pretty decent boost to your physical shields, including ECU, energy shields, absorber. I forget. I'll have to check. It may be like available for 2,500 gold because it's not exactly an OP module. You know, like the Battleborn. The Battleborn is for sale for 2,500 gold rather than like a Last Stand or some of those like damage boosting or heavy armor kit modules. You know, they're available for 5,000 gold. So I think it might be a cheaper one because I don't think it's going to be very OP. It's going to be not going to be able to really be used in many situations. So next we have the phase shift. Oh. I don't know. I don't know about this weapon, or not this weapon, this active module. Now, this active module, people are saying, is going to be the meta. Basically, when you are using this module, you get extra defense, because if you're getting destroyed, it's like Phantom, but you can't fire. Or, no, Last Stand, but you can't fire. So basically, while you're using this module for about, like, 5 seconds, you are going to be able to... Again, I haven't really logged into the game, so I don't know too much about these modules. I'll have to look at it later. But, you know, well, I have logged into the game, but, like, I haven't looked at too much. So, oh my goodness, I'm losing my train of thought so quickly. It's unbelievable. So, the Fortifier, not the Fortifier, oh my goodness, the phase shift is, when you're activating it for about 5 seconds, you know, you can't fire at anyone, but they can't fire at you. So it gives you an opportunity to run away and take no damage, but you can't do any damage yourself. So it's kind of it's balanced in that sense. But the issue is, people are talking about is, you know, if you have Last Stand, if you have if you have, you know, your Ares or whatever, or something like that, like a stealth, you're going to be able to have a lot longer, like, ability, a lot longer, like, shield or whatever, because now once your shield is down, you turn on the phase shift. Maybe you take a couple of hits after you turn, like, after the phase shift turns off, then your Last Stand activates. You know, it's just like, it's continuous like damage reduction. It's going to be hard to really kill these players. So what Pixonic did was, on their test server, the ability lasts for about 5 seconds or so. And what they did is they changed it so that the reload of this module is going to be like 40 or 50 seconds. That could work. That could work. So you're not going to be able to use it every single time, you know, your Ares shield charges or whatever. It's gonna take a little while. So, and also, I'm pretty sure it's cost 40 power cells. So, you know, that's also an issue. And, or not, that's also an issue. That's pretty expensive, so I don't think we're going to be seeing it too much, except in maybe your high-tier clan battles. So it will, I think, be a little bit of an issue. We'll have to see. Alright, balance update. All stats are listed. Level 1, level 12, MKA 1. So, you know, that's the usual. So, we're not going to read all that. This is where, you know, the balance changes. This is where this update kind of gets a little bit spotty. This is where, you know, we see some weird changes that really didn't need to be made. So, first of all, we see an Orkin nerf. An Orkin nerf. I'm a little bit confused about this. You know, I don't really think Orkins need to be nerfed, to be honest. They got their massive nerf before, and really we haven't seen the Orkin since. It's not been on the Spectre, it hasn't been on the Bulgasaur, it hasn't been on really very many other robots, except every once in a while you see an Ares maybe running an Orkin or something. And for some reason, it was just a random out-of-the-blue nerf. I don't know. I really don't know. Anybody with Orkins now, I mean, I feel bad for you guys. I really feel bad for you guys. I don't know why you guys are getting bullied. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding about the bullying part. But I mean, what? I don't understand why we need an Orkin nerf. Like, the weapon wasn't overpowered whatsoever. Like, there's no need for it. There is no need for it. You see, we reduced the capacity, but the full reload time is reduced by 3 seconds. If you do the math, it's actually purely a nerf. The 3 seconds off doesn't really do anything. So, if you know what I mean. Next up, we have the Gust. Ammo capacity is turned down, and so is the full reload time. The full reload time, when it's turned down to 5 seconds, it's going to be reloading at 1 second per shot, the same as with 9 shots. So it's purely a nerf of the capacity of the weapon. So the Gust was not OP. It's not OP. You know, the Halo dominates the Gust in every single category now. The only thing the Gust really had on the Halo was its 9 capacity. The Halo only had 5. So now, not only does the Gust have 5 capacity, the same as the Halo, but it doesn't have that vertical arc that the Halo has, so it can fire multiple enemies. It doesn't have lockdown. It doesn't have the energy weapon that can bypass energy shields. And then, on top of that, the Halo has increased damage. Goodness. And that's actually why I had to switch out my Pursuer with 2 Gust and a Halo, because at this point, it's kind of trash. Like, I knew that. The Pursuer before didn't really perform very well, and I knew that with this Gust nerf, it would perform even worse. So rather than buying, you know, a couple more Halos or something and trying to keep on upgrading it and keep it relevant in my hangar, I just decided to replace it with the traditionalist Falcon, which the Falcon actually also got a rebalance. Next, we have Sustained Weapons got a nerf or boost. So the Tehran, the delay between shots was increased, and the delay between bursts was increased. I don't know how I feel about this. It's bittersweet, because the idea is that the Tehran should not be competing in meta. I think that's Pixonic's mindset, because it's a 1,500 gold. They want you know, component stuff, the really expensive stuff, to be competing rather than something like a Tehran. I don't think this nerf is massive or anything, but it's going to do a little bit. It's going to change the Tehran a little bit. I don't think it's going to make the Tehran completely irrelevant at all. It's a tiny nerf, so we'll see what it does. I don't think it's going to take it completely out of meta, but, you know, you're going to notice it. It's going to be noticeably less damage. Next up, we have the Redeemer. The Redeemer, again, has underperformed generally, and so we're getting a buff. Before, we saw, like, I don't know, they didn't really call it a rebalance, they called it a tweak. So now the capacity, this is purely a rebalance. The capacity is increased by 3. You know, cool. The Redeemer is not overpowered. I'm not worried about it becoming some overpowered meta. You know, it's a boost. It's a boost to it, and I think that's good. Calamity, of course, the Calamity wasn't really an overpowered weapon. You know, Avenger really dominated the field in terms of heavy weapons, so we'll see the Calamity a little bit more. It's not huge. Again, it's less than 10% boost, so it's not going to do too much. And then Marquise. I have a Marquise. I don't use it at all. It's level 1, so, you know, I've never actually used it in a battle. I know that, like, the Marquise, going up against it, it's not that powerful. Light snipers in general aren't really powerful because they're light snipers. They don't do that much damage. So, you know, the buff is cool. Again, Marquise is not going to be a meta anytime soon. And then we have, this is the robot stuff. Okay, so the Ares speed was reduced by 33%, and so is the cooldown. Oh, sorry, move my mic. Oh my goodness. Sorry, move my mic. Goodness. Yeah, sorry for that little kind of, you probably heard a little noise. That was me accidentally tapping on my mic. Shouldn't have done that. So the Ares right here, its movement, or not, its movement speed while in the Absorber shield active position has been reduced by 33%. It's a third decrease. So that will turn in Ares that's going 60 kilometers per hour, which is its level 9 speed, or level 12 speed, whatever. Doesn't really change. It's going to go down to 40 kilometers per hour, which is less than the speed of a Falcon. So yeah, it's going to be slow. You know, you think 33%, you know, it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit. This is a huge nerf when it's in its Absorber active position. So yeah, and then its cooldown was increased by 2 seconds. That's a little bit much. I think personally the cooldown increase wasn't really needed, or it didn't have to be as much, and neither was the movement speed. You know, as an Ares user, I know it's completely overpowered and needs a nerf, but I think that this is a little bit of a little bit too much of a nerf. You know, because let's talk about the Spectre. There's sometimes where nerfs go too far. The Spectre needed a massive nerf, and what everyone was complaining about it, and what Pixonic did is they did this huge nerf to it, which completely took it out of meta, completely made it super easy to kill, and the Spectre is killed. These days in Champion League, I see Spectres, but I don't see them nearly as much, and when I do see them, they get killed pretty quickly. That's the facts. So I hope that this is not one of those nerfs that goes way too far, and then the Ares suddenly becomes super weak, super squishy. That might happen. I hope it doesn't. Hades, while Absorber is active, its speed is reduced by 20%. What I like about these nerfs, though, is the idea that it's a different playstyle. War robots, currently the strategy is kind of annoying. It is this idea of hide behind a wall, wait for your ability to recharge, run out, kill everyone, go back, hide. It's over and over and over again. Now that we're actually, when an ability is active, it's actually nerfing a little bit. It's giving extra damage, it's giving a shield, but it's also taking away some of your speed. So sometimes you have to think about, do I really need to use that ability? Is it going to help me out, It's going to create different playstyles, and it's something that we really need in Warbots. So I do like that 20% little nerf, and then we have the durability turns up, and the movement speed turns up very slightly. Really and truly, this is not I think it is a little bit of a nerf to the Hades, but it's not a huge thing. It's not a big deal. It's not going to do very much. Me as a Hades user, the Hades isn't going to become a meta anytime soon, I don't believe, but it's a little bit of a nerf, and it's a little bit of a playstyle change that I'm going to have to get used to. I'm not changing the Hades out anytime soon because I know it's a good bot. It's a fun bot to play in my hangar. Next up, we have the Nemesis. Now, I did a video on the Nemesis before. Nemesis Corona. It was someone recommended it to me, so I made a video about it. It was powerful. It was actually really powerful. I was surprised. It did a lot of damage. So, again, it's a playstyle change. It's not really a nerf. It's a little bit of a nerf, actually, but it's not too much. So it gets a little bit of movement speed, but speed is reduced in its ability by a little bit. And then we get a little bit of extra durability. So it's a little bit of a nerf. A little bit. It's debatable, but yeah. And then we have, these are some of these kind of throw-up nerfs. These are the ones that Pixonic randomly just throws up in their overview notes, and they never told anybody about this. And I always say, it always comes down, we can see stuff on the test server, and I always share my opinion about that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the update 5.3 notes, because they add in a bunch of stuff like this, and they don't really tell us about it. So here are some of these nerfs nerfs and buffs that we're seeing. So the Bulgasari has been completely underpowered. In fact, the entire dash pack has actually been, well, not dash pack, not including your Strider and your Bolt or whatever. The Korean bots really have been underpowered. The Kamuiho, really and truly, a Strider, a Hull Burner, just is so much better. A Heichi is just very squishy, very weak. Most weapons at this day and age of Warbots, people aren't using these death button builds. So that shield is pretty weak because Avengers and things like energy weapons just go straight through it. So, and then we have a Bulgasari, which is actually very weak. It's very slow now that its dash have been reduced. So we're getting some extra durability. We're getting some extra movement speed. We're getting some more physical shield. It's just a nerf, not nerf. It's just a buff to the bot. There's nothing about the ability. It's just a buff to the bot, and I'm so happy about this. The Bulgasari, I hope to see a little bit more in the battlefield. It's not gonna be a meta, of course, but it's a decent boost. We get some extra movement speed, which is going to be great for this bot because it's pretty slow. It cannot handle how fast robots go today. Today, in Warbots, speed matters a lot, and this robot does not have speed, so they're speeding it up a little bit. And then we have extra durability and, of course, physical shield, which should give it a little bit extra tankiness. So, yeah. And then the Falcon. Phew. Okay. So I own a Falcon, so when I saw a Falcon in this changes, I got really nervous. And it's not that bad, actually. It's not really a nerf or a buff. I don't know. It's a playstyle change, which, again, I'm happy about. The damage resistance was turned down to 60%. Which is actually, it's a 6% change, but it's actually going to do a lot for this robot in terms of resistance. It's not, this 60% resistance is going to be a lot different compared to a 66%. And then we get extra durability. So a lot extra. It's like 33,000. And that's for MK1 level 12. Less resist in a tank mode, more durability overall. You can survive longer while Fangs Out is active and get more efficient repairs. Perfection. Goodness, nobody uses Fangs Out in this robot. And it's one of those abilities that it's kind of surprising that, people never use it. People never use Fangs Out, or at least the good players don't. Because when you're going to have Fangs Out, for some reason, it puts a kick me sign on the Falcon. And everyone wants to fire at it. So now, you know, it has a little bit of extra durability and less damage resistance. So it'll kind of get people using, I think, the Falcon's fangs out a little bit more. Now, of course, I have traditionalist Falcons, so, you know, I'm not going to be using fangs out anytime soon because I can't. So, yeah. And then we have Raven. This was something that we had already known about, and the Raven gets extra durability, a little bit extra speed, and a 20% damage boost for 8 seconds after activating the ability. Secondary jump refreshes the effect. Yep, the Raven has been trash. Gonna be honest with you guys, the Raven kinda sucks. If you play it right, sometimes you can get some kills, but it's just a trash robot in general. So they gave it a little bit of a boost, revamped its jump effect, and so now it's better. It's a lot better, actually. It's not going to be meta. Again, this kind of balanced out some of the lower tier robots that were just doing trash, that were just kind of sucked. And I think the meta's getting a little bit better. It's getting slowly better. I think the Aljun is going to be the next meta, sometime maybe even tanks. So there's still going to be a top tier meta, but I think that some of these lower tier robots are slowly coming into relevancy. We'll have to see. So yeah, the Raven's better, and we'll see how it runs. And also, the good old Griffon. Oh my goodness. I have not played Griffon in so long, and I know that whenever I go up against it, I think, oh, in my mind, I'm saying, oh yeah, free damage. And, well, you know, it's getting a little boost. It's not huge. It's not a game changer. Especially, we always have to look at the lower leagues, you know, not just Champion League play. Because, you know, Champion League play is actually like about 2 or 3% of the entire community is in Champion League. So, you know, we always have to look at the lower leagues also. And we don't want to make this Griffon, we don't want to buff it up so much that, you know, in the lower leagues it's completely overpowered. And this buff doesn't do that. So that's great. So, of course, we're seeing 7,000 extra health, and that's MK1 level 12. A little bit extra. Movement speed is 3 kilometers per hour higher. Some of these robots, the lower tier robots, are slowly getting buffs, and we're seeing it slowly but surely. Again, this is a small boost, but I think in the coming updates we'll also see some more, and it will just stack on top of each other and get better and better. Yeah, so it's cool. I'm happy to see the Griffon kind of coming up along with its Raven cousin. And yeah, again, I think the Aljun, the main part that they missed out there, I told you at the beginning of this video that there were holes in this. And although I think, you know, the general gist of the rebalancing is pretty good, but they missed out on a lot of things. They missed out on some of these tanky robots I think need a nerf, because they will be in the meta. And also the Aljun, which rival the Ares in power, will become the meta inevitably. Now, of course, the Aljun does have a counter, and that is Quantum Raider. So, you know, I don't think it's not going to be words. You know, I don't think it's going to be like the OP as the, you know, Ares was, but I think it's still going to be the meta. Like, and maybe even tanks may come into the meta also. We'll just have to see. All right, modules. Quantum Raider. This is also some rebalancing. Quantum Raider activation delay removed. Now, this is kind of a nerf to the Aljun, because now that the activation delay is removed, you can instantly target the Aljun. So, you don't have to wait 2 seconds. So, you know, the Aljun, it's gonna get hit a little bit more, probably. So, I can see maybe the Aljun might be a little bit more balanced now. And that's why I'm saying, you know, it's not going to be as OP as the Ares once was in terms of meta. Still will be the meta, but, you know. Alright, Battleborn. The Battleborn was 2,500 gold, so it was pretty cheap. But it's still just underperformed generally, because once you get to the battlefield, that 20 seconds usually is already up. It's done. So now, it activates after taking damage instead of immediately after spawn. So, yeah, once you take a hit, it's activated. So no longer are you wasting time while running to the battlefield. It's instantly, once you get shot, it's activated. Last Stand. Now the Last Stand activation threshold is now visible on everyone's device. So it's going to be seen on the little durability meter that you usually see, and it's going to be like a darker red. So now you see, if you see that, you know, that means someone has Last Stand. So that's going to be easier when you're going up against some top-tier players. Because when you're in a Beacon Rush match and stuff, and there's that one MK2 player running around, you want to know. You want to know whether he's running Last Stand, because that can screw you over a lot. So now you can kind of move around, you can kind of develop playstyle and strategies around a Last Stand, rather than just kind of questioning whether or not it's a Last Stand, whether or not it's a Last Standed robot or not. So that'll be interesting. I still think that we need a nerf to the Last Stand, guys. Like, not a huge nerf, really. The 4.5 seconds at level 6 should not be 4.5. I'm thinking maybe 3.5 to 3. That's just my idea. Alright, and then we have the little bug fixes. So, fix an issue causing lockdown ammo module to reduce the lockdown chance for weapons with the same effect. Never noticed that, but okay, cool. Bug fix. Fix an issue causing the first shot to remove all additional durability from pilot skills. Never noticed that, so not a big deal, but cool. Alright guys, that is the video. If you could, please go down, hit that like, hit a subscribe for me. Just thank you. Thank you so much, and also thank you for 2,500 subscribers. It's just unbelievable. My community right here, guys. You guys are my family. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. I'm going to see you next time. Bye, guys.